Well, hello guys, it's Thor, and today we're going to be talking about Cardano cryptocurrency, or ADA as people call it. And I'm really interested at looking at this chart. I'm going to shut the window here. Because, when I was first doing my cryptocurrency analyses a few days ago, or no, not a few days ago, but last year, Cardano was one of the cryptocurrencies that really impressed me. And it really impressed me because it did seem like it was really designed as a more futuristic third generation type of cryptocurrency. So I was quite impressed by it. Now, one of the issues that we're having right now, as we're talking about cryptocurrencies, is really we're living in clown world economy right now. So the cryptocurrencies it's been quite difficult. I mean, we got the inflation at 10%. We have in Argentina, I think the inflation is at 50%. In the United Kingdom, 15 to 20%. The electric bills are going crazy all across Europe. So it seems like, there's less cash for people to be buying crypto. So it's understandable that cryptocurrencies aren't at their strongest point at the moment. So I want everyone to be aware of that. So the circumstances of the moment are definitely affecting how Cardano is performing. And I don't see Cardano performing particularly well in the next 6 months, especially with it being in the Saturn bhukti, and we're going to talk about that in a minute, and also Saturn transiting the 8th house of Capricorn in the Cardano chart. So let's take a look at that. For those of you guys that are new to my channel, please like and subscribe. And the goal, of course, is 10,000 subscribers. And if you guys are interested in a personal reading, please check the details down below. Really cool right now is we have a 40% discount. And just go to my website for the details on that if you guys are interested. I also want to give this disclaimer at the beginning. This is not meant to replace advice from a qualified financial planner. And this is based on astrology, okay? My interpretation of the astrology. It's for entertainment purposes only. Invest at your own risk. And also I use sidereal Vedic astrology if you guys are interested in that. So let's go. Now we're going to talk about the bhukti that Cardano is in. So Cardano is in something called Saturn bhukti. I'm going to explain that with the chart, especially for those of you guys that are newer. But a bhukti is like a stage or condition of life. Okay, so right now, between the times of December 14th, 2019 and February 12th, 2023, Cardano is basically, Saturn is in charge of the experience of Cardano. For example, if this was a human chart, I would be saying Saturn is influencing the consciousness. So let's take a look at the Cardano chart. I'm going to share it with you guys, that chart. And of course, I have, a lot of subscribers that are really into cryptocurrency. So the birth time, if you guys want to see what the birth time is, go to my first video on Cardano over a year ago. Go check my videos. But I basically got birth times from my, cryptocurrency subscribers. So that's where I got. Okay, so this is the Cardano chart. And like I said, it's in the Saturn bhukti right now. Okay, so it's in Venus Mahadasha Saturn bhukti. We're going to focus more on the bhukti. So everything about Cardano, what basically is happening during this planetary period is going to be influenced by Saturn in the 6th house right here. 6th house of Scorpio. By the way, Cardano is Gemini ascendant. Okay, so Saturn being in the 6th house, if I was looking at a human being's chart, I would say that's generally beneficial because Saturn tends to prevent the negative things of the 6th house, but it also shows heavy karma regarding that. Okay, so 6th house, when it's showing delays, imbalance, setbacks, debt, all those problems, that's what Cardano is going through right now. And maybe those delays are being caused by the broader society. I understand that. In fact, that's probably a lot of what's being experienced by Cardano right now. Is it's this broader society you know, if the ocean lowers, well, all ships on the ocean lower with it, right? So that's kind of what's happening a lot with cryptocurrencies. Saturn rules, when we look at the Cardano chart, Saturn rules the 9th house of Aquarius here. And then it also rules the 8th house of Capricorn. So when we're looking at Mahadashas or Bhuktis, when we're like looking at charts, we always want to look at the house that the planet is in, and then the houses that it rules. So that's going to give us a certain, it's going to give us the flavor of the experience that this being is having, okay? So we already know 6th house is generally setbacks, delays, disease, imbalance, conflict. So we already see that there's kind of some issues there. And the fact that Cardano's in a Saturn period right now also shows delays, because Saturn is the karaka of delays. Okay. So let's go to the slideshow, because I got some more information here. Saturn is in the 6th house of enemies, debts, conflict, losses, imbalance, problems, and disease. And then Saturn rules the 8th house and 9th house. So the 8th house is a really dangerous house. I want you guys to be aware of that. Remember what happened with Luna? You guys remember when Luna went basically to zero? It lost all of its value. Luna went to complete junk status. What was that, a few months ago, 6 months ago? Well, that was 8th house. 8th house is the house of bankruptcy. Okay, it could be a sudden gain, but it could be you go bankrupt and absolutely it's destroyed. The foundation is pulled out, ripped out from underneath it. So I want you to know that Cardano is in an 8th house period, just like Luna was. Not really a great period. It's not a period where I would say there's safety in this, even though I love this as a cryptocurrency, even though I believe it's a really good, everything about it's a really good idea. The founders of Cardano, everyone was very intelligently designed. This is really good, but it's in one of those periods where it could just drop, just like Luna did. So that's where I'm kind of sending out the bat signal. Like, this is a little bit, you know, invest at your own risk with this right now, okay? And it could be like it's one major event away from this. So if we have some sudden, you know, if you guys watch my other videos, if we have a sudden war breakout or a sudden something breakout, we could see all the, you know, Cardano fall flat, you know, based on just circumstances around it. So 8th house, guys, it represents sudden losses, death and rebirth, emergencies, traumas, bankruptcy, evil house. So 6th house would typically be like getting in debt. 8th house is you're bankrupt. So it's almost like a higher octave, like 6th house is bad and then 8th house is even worse. And then we go to 9th house is wisdom. It's a wisdom and it's a trine house. So 9th house is generally good. Wisdom, teachings, dharma, father figures, fortune. But remember, when we're talking about the 9th house and we're talking about wisdom and dharma teachings, that's typically more beneficial in a human chart. You know, we have to keep in mind of the chart we're looking at. We're looking at a chart of a cryptocurrency. So I don't think that, you know, Cardano is going to go on the meditation path and do yoga and get a guru. So, I mean, so we have to look at it through that lens as well when we're looking at a chart of either a corporation or we're looking at a chart of something like a cryptocurrency. We have to realize the 9th house, well, it can represent some good fortune. I mean, Cardano had some pretty big increases ever since 2019. Cardano got really big, you know, so there was a big 9th house factor, but then the 8th house came in and it's going down right now. So let's go back to the presentation. So let's talk about Saturn, because you guys are probably wondering, and let me go back just to show you guys. Remember, this is going to be till February of 2023, the Saturn bhukti we're talking about. So this is temporary. What do we got? 6 more months until February 12th, 2023. And then the Saturn's going to change signs as well on January 17th of 2023. So keep that in mind. There's going to be a big shift if Cardano doesn't like do a big flop. So it's not a safe necessarily investment, in my opinion. Consult your financial advisors, do your research, but I feel like it's a little risky just because of this 8th house, you know, influence. I would be very, very, you know, if you're very risk averse, you know, make sure, you know, you're really looking into this. So let's talk about what Saturn is, because this is, you know, not only can this apply to Cardano, but it also can apply to your individual charts. When any of you guys are in a Saturn Mahadasha or a Saturn Bhukti, this is going to relate. So Saturn is the natural karaka for delays, heavy karma, obstacles, setbacks, being stuck. Have you guys ever been stuck? Humility, punishment. Saturn is always Saturn. So remember that, guys. Even if you guys have one of those, even if you have an ascendant where Saturn is like a pretty good sign, always remember Saturn is always Saturn. So Saturn is all about like heaviness, heavy energy on you. Saturn is, just like I said here, Saturn is always Saturn, even if beneficially placed within a birth chart, not associated with sudden rises or glorification, or like get quick, you know, get rich quick schemes. That's not Saturn. Saturn is like nose to the grindstone, the Puritan work ethic. So be aware of that, guys. Saturn is like, there's not an easy path to money. Okay. So Saturn is hard work. Saturn is all about lawful ways of success. The story of the turtle and the hare. In that story of the turtle and the hare, Saturn would be the hare. Okay. Remember that story, guys? Remember the rabbit takes off really fast, but the turtle or the hare, you know, is slow in the race, but it's steady. That's what Saturn is. Saturn's like steady. We're plodding along like a workhorse, but we're steady and we're slow. That's going to be Saturn. So we're not expecting major gains, but the 8th house lordship could show problems as well. So that's why I'm saying this is a risky time for Luna. All the way till February of 2023, I'm on red alert. Okay, I'm putting this on red alert. The 8th house lordship and Saturn transiting the 8th house is a cause for concern. Remember that Luna was in a period of the 8th lord when it suddenly lost all of its value. Okay, remember that, guys. Not a safe investment for the next 6 months. Lots of volatility and risk associated here. One major catastrophe could sink it. That's what I'm worried about. When I see the 8th house involved, I'm like, okay, there could be a sudden. Remember, we're in this really crazy period right now. We're on July 31st. We had the Mars, Rahu, Uranus conjunction in the sign of Aries. Watch the news. Watch everything that's happening. This is like it's like a powder keg. There's just one thing, and the economy could be like the Titanic. Okay, so you guys have to be careful right now with any investments. I would advise extreme caution. Okay, unless it's like food, farms, food, oil, gold. You know, unless it's one of those things. But with the cryptocurrencies, play it really cautious. Now, is there going to be a time for cryptocurrencies to absolutely flourish? Yes, absolutely. But you got to just take into account the times that we're in. 2023, I see a big shift. And I see a shift in the economy, and it's going to be a shift for Cardano as well. So let's take a look at that. Mercury Bhukti, this is going to be a lot better. So if Cardano, you know, if Cardano ends up like getting through this period, this 8th house, and I'm not saying it's going to get destroyed, but I'm saying it can be just a very volatile time. And I'm saying, you know, nobody knew Luna was going to do a big drop. Luna just went boom, just 8th house is just so much destruction. Wealth destruction, guys. This is serious. Wealth can go like that, be just completely destroyed and flatlined. That's why I'm telling you guys, be careful. Okay, Mercury. Now, this is going to be a way better period. Look at this, February 12, 2023 to 2025. This is going to be the stability period. This is where we're going to see a lot more stability and upward growth with Cardano. And let's take a look. So let's take a look at the chart. I'm going to show you guys what Mercury rules. So this is at the beginning of 2023, and I feel like there's going to be a big shift for Cardano. Let's take a look. So Mercury Bhukti, check this out. Mercury's in the sign of Virgo, the 4th house there. And Virgo is the exaltation sign of Mercury. So this is really good. So it means it's very strong. It rules the 1st house. Remember, the 1st house is a trine house, so it's really good for growth and expansion. So we're seeing a lot of upward growth with this, a lot of visibility. And then also you got to look at the planets get activated in Mercury's houses. So the sun gets activated. And what does the sun rule? The 3rd house of Leo. And what does the 3rd house represent? Well, the third house represents self-earned wealth. So those of you guys that might not have strong like second houses or 11th houses when we're talking about the money houses, always check your third house. Your third house is being able to make money on your own through either a small business or even your hobbies, or basically just getting your face out and through your own talents, making money, not working for a corporation, not working for someone else. So a lot of times your chart will always have ways you can make money. Okay, so if you can't make money in a traditional job, your chart will usually show a way where you can make some money. I want you guys to be aware of that. So during this Mercury period that Cardano is going to be in, the first house is being activated, the fourth house. Fourth house is all about stability, the homeland. So there's more stability here. The eighth house, you know, the volatility of the eighth house is going to be over in 2023. So I see it a lot better, but, you know, will it survive the next 6 months? You know, I definitely, me personally, my opinion as Thor, I wouldn't put all my money in it. I wouldn't sit there like putting everything in the Cardano. I would be really worried about it. I would minimize my risk on this because of the eighth house. Luna, guys, let me tell you, Luna, people lost big on Luna. So we can't make that mistake, the Luna mistake. It's going to be remembered. That was a day that will go down in infamy in the cryptocurrency worlds. That is like a really bad time. Let's go back to the presentation. That's it. So that's what I see, guys. Now let's go back to the Cardano chart. I'm just going to show you a few other things before we go on, so in case I see the questions. So even though Rahu's transiting the 11th house right here, I still think that this is going to be better transit. The Rahu transit in the 11th house is going to be till October of 2023. And this would generally be a good transit for Cardano. However, guys, remember this eighth house volatility. So I feel like everything's going to get better when it enters that Mercury period in February of 2023. So between February 2023 and October 2023, that should be a pretty good period for Cardano. Should see a lot of growth there, okay? Between October, what was that? February 2023 to October 2023. That should be a time of growth and expansion for Cardano. So make sure you're checking that out. The next 6 months, you guys remember Saturn is transiting. Saturn is in the 8th house of Capricorn in the Cardano chart. You know, K2's there. This is why I'm a little bit worried. K2's there too. So it's in a Saturn period. This is like a double whammy. So whenever you're in a bhukti, so if you're in a bhukti of Saturn like Cardano is, and you know, Saturn is also transiting one of its own signs. So it's in a Saturn bhukti and Saturn is transiting the 8th house of Capricorn. It's like a double whammy. So if you guys ever experience that, if you ever experience like you're in a bhukti of a planet and then it's transiting one of its own signs, that planet is like extra powerful in the influences and effects that it has in your chart. So pay special attention. So right now, the focus on Saturn being the 8th lord is intensified. It's in a Saturn bhukti and it's in the 8th house. So this 8th house aspect is like being like if you took a microscope and just amplified it. And K2's there too, which is destruction or scattering effect. So that's why I'm like, whoa. When I saw it today, I was like, this is like not good. Like, let's be really careful with this because this is the 8th house danger of it. It's pretty dangerous. Now, hopefully I'm wrong. But, you know, we got to play it. We got to play it safe. I'm a little more conservative with it. You guys let me know in the comments what you guys think. Let me check out the comments, see if there's any questions in the chat. And thank you guys for being here. All right. Okay, let's see. Carolina says, it's not every day I look at Cardano, I cringe, but I'm letting it ride. I didn't invest more than I can afford, but wow, it really went down. Thank you, Carolina, for putting in your input. Thanks, Thor. Ganesh says, thanks, Thor. Love your work. Thank you. And Ganesh, I'll have to take, I will have to look at Luna Classic if I can get a birth time on it. I definitely will take a look. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate your guys's input and your support. You know, I couldn't have this channel without you guys. So I appreciate you guys. I'll take a look at if we can find classic, Luna Classic, the birth time there. So thank you guys for being here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. A lot of you cryptocurrency followers. I know it's a hard time for cryptocurrencies because of the overall state of the economy. So I'm really aware of that. And like I said earlier, you know, an ocean lowering is going to lower all the boats, you know, and that's kind of what we're seeing right now. Things are very crazy in this clown world economy that we're in. So things are definitely not stable. Thank you guys for watching my video, and pay attention to the next video that I'm going to release. We're going to be doing a video on Pope Francis. So we're going to be doing another personal chart on a very important person in the world. So thank you guys and take care.